providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing. If it's your first time, we always say that, but then I'm like, even if it's not your first time, this is Caregiver Crossing, and we are a show for caregiving things.
All things caregiving.
All things caregiving. I'm Tina McIntosh in studio with
Terry Stacy and
Noah Taylor.
That's right. We're all here. Okay, so, we're going to talk about something in this segment that is not fun to talk about. It's not, it makes me angry.
Well,
Makes me
makes you
depressed.
angry?
It makes me really mad.
And this is because you're talking about what?
Scammers and
Elder
fraud
abuse.
and bad people.
Yeah.
Very bad people.
And they're there. Boy, and listen, the elderly, we're all targets, but the elderly in particular, big target.
It's horrible. I mean, we say this time of the year, but really it's all year round that people are getting, emails, phone calls, letters, all the correspondence about how you have to give them money for this or they need your information for that. Like, I don't know who to believe anymore. I get them all the time. Have you guys gotten the one about your speeding ticket?
I did. I've gotten 2 of them, and
Right?
I did have a speeding ticket, so I thought it was real for a second. I definitely thought it was real for a moment. They're so convincing,
Yeah.
even for myself. I mean,
It's frustrating. And you are not an older adult. And let's
Right.
be honest, it gets harder to, because we're not in the know as we, get older, our knowledge base is different. I mean, there's all this media coming at me at this point in my life, and it gets overwhelming and overstimulating. And sometimes I'm like, just pay the speeding ticket, right?
right.
I'll pay it. Yeah, you get those too, Nasty?
I get them. And emails and everything. And I want us all to be connected, right? I want everybody to be able to have, especially when we talk about our grandmas, our moms, our dads, grandpas, whoever that may be. We all want them to be connected too, socially. Use your texts, and we want them to be able to have that independence. And all it's done is created more work for them to figure out what is real and what is not real.
Here's another one I get about FedEx packages. You get
FedEx
that one?
packages, get those too. You've got one. UPS
What is
is
that
waiting
one?
for you. UPS,
Oh.
we've got one waiting for you, but we can't get it to you
Until you send us
until
money.
you send us some money.
Yeah, I mean, so I think, for caregivers who are listening, for any of us who are listening, you've got to stay ahead of the scams. I mean, you can Google things. If you get something, I just copy paste, I stick it into my search bar, and I say scam or not, and 9 times out of 10, it's a scam.
Yep.
The other one, I tell you, that goes around here at Joy's house, Terry, I'm sure you've gotten these too, at your place of business, but at Joy's house, we get no one might get an email that says, hey, it's Tina. I'm so sorry I couldn't call, but can you go get me $500 worth of gift cards? And before your time, Noah, we had a coworker who went and did it. She bought $1,000 worth of gift cards and then realized it was a scam.
If you're getting an email from the CEO of a business, you're like, oh gosh, this is important. Like, I need to.
It's so gross.
I need to get this
is
done.
just so awful.
Yeah.
That we have to be so prepared and on edge. We can't trust anything, anything or anyone, and I hate that. I really do.
I do too. I mean,
and I've been scammed. Have you been scammed? You can't imagine how hard it is to stop at everything, to stop everything and change your bank accounts and change. It's such work to get it done.
So let's talk about that for a minute. You got scammed. You're in the know, Terry.
I thought I was.
How did it feel?
It was awful. And it's embarrassing that you let yourself get that way, but then mostly you're just mad. You're just mostly angry. But the steps you have to take following something like this, it's endless.
It's violating.
Endless. It's violating, and it just makes you so mad. And guess what? It's not going away. And guess what else? They don't catch these guys. Not every time. So you really are out of money. You are out of luck if you do this. And I fell for it. Everything had to change.
Listen,
and it's work.
You are not alone. It was. It's been reported that elder fraud losses hit. Are you ready for this? This is according to the FBI last year. Elder fraud losses hit $3.4 billion.
Wow.
So you're not alone, and people don't report it out of embarrassment.
Yeah. I get it.
Fear. I mean, all the things. And so the average loss per victim was over $33,000.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
It's
even
just
have
sickening.
that amount of money.
It is sickening. You know, you save. That's what you're saved for. You've got this. This is you're retired. I mean, it's just sickening.
Oh, how about the other one, the AI voices?
Yeah.
Have you
they're
heard
scary
those?
And
too.
like
Yeah.
your grandchild, or and they're in trouble, they're in jail, or those. Are you talking about those?
Yes. So yes, to that
It's going to
point,
get worse.
a grandchild calling saying, "Hey, Grandma, it's me, and I need help. I've been arrested. I need you to send this money here." But it sounds just like them. It's just horrible. I think there is a special place in hell for these people.
I do too.
You're taking advantage of other humans, and I wish you the best in the afterlife, because I don't think it's going to go well for you.
I'm right there with you.
So
Yeah.
what should we do? What can we do?
I think letting some other people know that some other common scams right now include fake tech support. Medicare re-enrollment is really popular around this time of the year.
Great.
There are mid-year financial check-ins that could be false. Like Tina was saying, AI-generated voice impressions.
Yeah. And, talk about it. If you get, if I get the text that says, "Hey, you've got to pay these parking tickets," one, I'm going to look it up, right? If I can't do that for whatever reason, I'm going to talk with somebody else and say, "Hey, Terry, have you ever gotten these?" And when you say yes, then I'm going to be like, that's probably a scam. And so we just have to be open about it. Listen, you guys, if it can happen to Terry, I mean, honestly.
No, well, yeah. Only just because I'm in the news. I mean, news is around me all the time, and I see things from the BBB and the FBI, and they
And you're
warn
smart.
you.
I mean, so, you've got to, and you can set up some safeguards. Noah, do you remember what those were?
Yeah, some of those safeguards include call screening, when the number pops up on your phone, making sure it's a recognizable number, credit freezes, making sure your bank knows that you could have been scammed, you potentially might have been scammed, and then shared email access too, when possible. That is nice.
What's that mean?
Does
that mean if mom has an email, I can get the same email?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
How do you do that? I wonder. I'll have to look that up.
You can look that up. You
Okay,
can
how to
YouTube
do
video
that?
it,
It's definitely possible for multiple people to be signed into the same email if you're comfortable sharing those
I
credentials.
didn't know that. Okay.
I think you definitely should if you're a little bit hesitant about maybe some of these emails being scams.
And we hear this a lot, but do not give out your personal information over the phone. And when somebody calls, I can't stand when somebody calls and says, "Hey, can you give me your address?" I'm like, "Well, you called me." Oftentimes I will say to them, "I'd like a phone number to call back." And the minute they say, "Oh, well, you can't call back," or "We need to take care of this right now," or "If you don't pay the $100 in the next 5 minutes, then something bad will happen," I'm like, "You're probably not real.
Like, whatever.
I'm going to let you go." And if it's real, somebody's going to call me back or track me down, right? So, all right, we're going to have to stick around. We've got a great guest coming. You do not want to miss this. We will be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. With 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience, Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us for more information and to find a community near you. Stay put, everybody. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Caregiver Crossing. Terry Stacy along with Noah Taylor.
Hello.
Tina's out. We've got a really special guest today. It is somebody who really brings light and love to one of life's most tender chapters, Madison Wood-Gonzalez. That's who's here. She's the executive director at Morning Light, where she leads the team at the Abbie Hunt Bryce Home. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. But her leadership, she has so many accomplishments, and her leadership and warmth and vision have not only changed lives at Morning Light, but have inspired a lot of people across our country too. Madison, we're really honored and happy you're here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am very, very excited to talk with you all today.
Let's explain a little bit about Morning Light and then also the Abbie Bryce Home.
Sure. So Morning Light is the umbrella organization. We're a nonprofit that owns and operates the Abbie Hunt Bryce Home. And the Abbie Hunt Bryce Home is an extremely unique and beautiful resource right here in Indianapolis. We're a free resource for individuals who don't have a payer source and don't have anywhere to live at the end of their life. And so they come and they stay with us at the Abbie Hunt Bryce Home for the remainder of their days. No strings attached. And it's all about creating comfort, dignity, compassion, and just relieving, any stressors that might be impacting someone at that stage of life.
Abbie Bryce Hunt. Was that who is that? That was a real person.
So yes, Abbie Hunt Bryce. It's a mouthful.
That's Abbie Hunt
was
Bryce,
actually yes, the founder of the visiting nurse service back in the day. So the visiting nurse service would go into homes and provide that end of life care. But what they recognized was that a lot of people didn't have an address. They didn't have a home to go to. And if they did, the conditions were such that it just wasn't a safe and comfortable environment for them. And so they thought, let's build our own. And they did. So they built a 12-bedroom home. At that size, we're the second largest in the entire United States, next to just New York City. So it's New York City and then Indianapolis. So it's a very, very cool opportunity to be able to serve up to 12 people at a time.
That's so beautiful. And I mean, especially as our older adults are shifting towards this stat where most of our older adults will be living in poverty. I think it's so beautiful. And I'm really curious, is the house always full? Is it always people to care for?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It is always full, and we operate with a wait list too. So certainly would love to see more homes like ours pop up, not only in Indiana, but all over the country.
Absolutely a need for it. So when a guest arrives at Morning Light, and I'm sure everything feels chaotic and uncertain, what's the first thing your team focuses on to bring some stability and comfort?
I love that question. We actually try to help the process before the person even arrives. So we have an individual who's our social services manager. Her name is Lindsay Huff, and she's phenomenal. She goes to do the intakes. She goes and does an intake assessment and actually meets them ahead of time so that when they come in, they'll know somebody right away. But with that intake assessment, we don't just want to know, what foods are you allergic to and what medications do you take. We also want to know what's your favorite color, what's your favorite smell, what's your favorite show, so that we can try our best to have those things on hand so that when they arrive at the home, there's a little bit of them there, and it feels very, personal and feels like their home, which is the whole point. And so we start that process early on, and then once they come to us, we always have either a designated staff member or a volunteer, and that's a volunteer role that we have is kind of a welcome volunteer who can sit with them and fill out, some documents, answer any questions that they have, show them how to work the TV, little things that just help you feel like, okay, this is going to be okay, and I'm not going to go through this alone.
Wow. Is there the criteria age-wise? Is there an age limit or an age, I guess, 55 and older, or what is the age there?
Sure. So we don't take minors. We're not equipped for that.
Right.
But we do take individuals. We've had, 20-year-olds or people in their 20s at the home. So while we're predominantly geared towards seniors and, older adults, just because statistically there's more seniors and older adults on hospice, that's really our requirement, is that you're on hospice care. And we're unique because we're not providing the medical oversight. We partner with dozens of hospice teams and hospitals in the state, and they do kind of that care plan, that case management oversight type piece, where we really get to come in and shine as, we are a warm bed, we are a hand to hold, we are a home cooked meal, and truly a family for our residents.
Because oftentimes there's no family.
Exactly.
So has there been a specific moment in your time at Morning Light, or maybe a specific guest that surprised you or taught you something new about people near the end of their life?
I've had so many eye-opening experiences with individuals on hospice. It's such an incredible time to see humanity at its finest. It's such a beautiful time of reflection. It's a beautiful time for forgiveness and looking back over your life and learning things about yourself that maybe you didn't know before. I go back to, we did have a 29-year-old young man who was with us. And, one of the last things that he said to us was, "My body declined here, but my spirit healed."
Mm.
And that opened my eyes so much because, while physically sometimes people are maybe, losing different parts of themselves because they're on hospice or facing a terminal illness, the spirit and the soul still have an opportunity for closure and for love and for acceptance and for joy. And, people who come to us, sometimes they haven't had an easy go at life and they've never had a stable environment. And, that was the case for this young man.
I
And
remember this 29-year-old man. He made an impact on your life.
I loved him so much. And we all did. And it really just opened my eyes to the type of healing that can happen even on hospice. I do have one other story for you. We had a resident named Penny, and she was in her late 60s. We always have Santa Claus come to the home twice a year, actually, once in July and once
Christmas
in
July.
December for
That's
Christmas
awesome.
in July. Yeah, because, when you're on hospice, typically hospice is 6 months or less. And so, let's give you a Christmas.
That's beautiful.
And so that's something that we love to do. And that's coming up next month. So that'll be a lot of fun. But, Penny, Santa came to her room and brought her present. She had her reindeer, antlers on. And she was also one who, when she had talked about her life story, it was just, one kind of sad thing after the next, but she's there and she's like, "I can't believe Santa's in my room. I've never met Santa before." And here's a woman who is, 60 in her late 60s, and she's never met Santa Claus before. And she is just beaming like a child. And Penny actually passed 2 days after that.
Wow.
And to me, I've told that story a lot and I still get chills telling it. Because to me, that just emulates, we are alive until we aren't. We are here until we aren't. And that's what people need to understand about hospice, is that going on hospice doesn't mean you don't have any life left to live. You still have a lot of opportunities for beautiful moments and beautiful memories and things that matter. Just like the rest of us. And so embracing those and looking for, I can still do new things. I can still have meaningful moments in my life on hospice and with my family or with my friends or just with myself, nature, whatever that looks like. It just was it made such an impression on me that, here's a woman who had never met Santa and she passed 2 days later, but wow, was she happy.
Wow. Madison Wood-Gonzalez is her name, Executive Director of Morning Light, and we're talking about the Abbie Hunt Bryce Home. And if you can stick around with us, I think we've got more we would like to know.
I would love to.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Thank you so much. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here every week to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit joycehouse.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver resources in the community, and much more. All right, that website again is joycehouse.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly.
It's Caregiver Crossing. Thank you for joining us once again. Terry Stacy, along with Noah Taylor.
Hello.
Tina is out today. If you just listen, if you're just tuning in at this very minute, you can certainly hear the entire conversation that we are having with Madison Wood-Gonzalez. This is her second segment. I don't know why I feel compelled to tell you that, but if just in case you just tuned in, I don't want you to miss what she had to say in the prior segment. So anyway, she is the executive director, as I mentioned, of Morning Light. We left off this question, and I think it's a good one. Noah, this is a good question that you put together for us. Noah's so good to us. He really
You're too sweet.
finds some great things for us to ask. And this one, caregivers and what they are often failing at, when in reality, what they think they're failing at, but really in reality, they're doing just fine. How do you help them see the difference?
I think it's really hard to be a caregiver in any capacity because you love the people that you're caring for and you hold yourself to such a high standard, I think it's helpful to put it in perspective that it is not our job to take away the pain for those that we love. It's just our job to be there and to support them through it, because we can't fix everything that's going on. Sometimes in hospice is, where we work, and that's the population that we work with at Abbie Hunt Bryce Home. But, at any stage, we can't fix the things that are going on for our loved ones, and we can't always protect them from it as hard as we try. But if we can sit with them and just hold space with them and be a loving, compassionate presence, offer empathy, and don't expect ourselves to be perfect all the time or even get it, right 100% of the time.
There's no handbook.
There's no handbook. We're just feeling through it. We're all human, doing the best that we can. I think just giving ourselves grace that we're showing up and we're doing something that's really hard, and that's the best that's the best we can do for our loved ones, is just continue to show up.
Just show
I love
up.
that. Yeah, you can't fix everything, but you can be there for them.
Exactly.
It should be.
Yeah. What have you learned about how people cope when they're given time to accept what's
I think
coming?
this is so scary.
Compared,
to even think about, right?
Yeah, compared to
Absolutely.
those who might avoid that thought till the very end.
I don't think society does a great job of talking about death and dying.
I
It
agree.
is not an easy subject. None of us want to consider, losing a loved one or, our own mortality. It's a tricky one. I urge people to explore it when it isn't on your doorstep, because there is so much information out there. And while the information might not make, all the grief disappear or, the feelings, they're still going to come. It's still going to be sad. Like, we can't tiptoe around that. But I can tell you personally, I've lost a couple people that are close to me since working in this industry. And yes, it's still very hard and it still rocks me. You don't know what it's going to feel like until you're in it. But knowing what I knew meant that I could show up better for those that I loved and offer some resources, offered some perspective. I think, shock and denial, those are very real things. And when you are in a reactionary state, it's really hard to make good choices. And it's really hard to, think in a straight line, right? When you're confronted with a lot of emotion, it's really hard. But if you are prepared ahead of time and a lot of the logistics are out of the way, you can just be more present with those that you love and your loved ones at the time. And I think that's a really big gift that you can offer them, but also yourself.
So that may be answering that question on what we can do or what small things people can do in those final days that seem to bring them that peace, even if they can't express it.
Yeah, even if people don't necessarily want to talk about it or don't know how to express it, I find that contemplative practices, just presence is the name of the game when it comes to this subject, because every day is going to be different and you don't really know, what the day is going to bring always. But I can tell you what our residents enjoy is planting and gardening and nature. These kind of mindfulness practices that people can do, music, what makes you feel good. A lot of the time, with hospice, the energy might not be there. And so it's kind of reimagining how you can do things, for yourself and with each other. But a lot of the time, it doesn't have to be a big energy expense. It can just be feeding the birds and watching them come, to your window. I can tell you that's one of the most popular things at the Abbie Hunt Bryce Home is all of the bird feeders that we have. I mean, people just love it. And our home is really special because we have doors that open up to the back garden and in every room. And so even if people can't necessarily get out of bed, they can still kind of feel that breeze and feel, the wind and hear the bird song and all of those things that are just, so important to connect with.
Is it an
in your
actual
final
house?
stage. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a
an
house.
actual house that was built for.
It was built for this purpose. Yes, we call it our mansion because it's 12 bedrooms. It's this big, beautiful home,
really
and it's
big.
It's absolutely stunning. And if anyone is local, I really encourage you to come in for a tour. We love showing off what we do,
And maybe volunteer.
and
Yeah.
absolutely volunteer.
How can our listeners get in contact with you if they wanted to support or volunteer?
Absolutely.
Morning Light?
So Morning Light inc.org is our website. And our volunteer application is right on the website. You can kind of see the different jobs that are available. Of course, food is a definite way to connect with people. Everybody loves a good, meal. So we do 3 home cooked meals a day, and that's a great way to volunteer. Being a greeter at our door, we have a lot of people that come in and out and need a smiling face, and that's helpful. And so there's all kinds of different ways, even if you aren't comfortable kind of sitting alongside our residents, because that's just not where you are yet, or not necessarily how you want to serve. We have our gardening club. We have all kinds of stuff. We even have a card club. We send condolence cards to families and things.
Oh, wow.
So people come in and they make cards.
I mean, that's what a wonderful opportunity. What a really wonderful place to volunteer your
It's
time,
very
however
meaningful.
much you can give.
Yes.
Sometimes that's completely, what's the word I'm looking? It's so priceless.
It really is.
But do you take donations? Is this a nonprofit?
Of course we
Is
take
is it a
donations.
nonprofit? I'm not quite sure about that part of
Absolutely,
it.
yes. So we are completely funded by the community. So grants and donations is how we do this. We don't take, we don't bill insurance, Medicaid, anything like that. So if that is the way that you would like to give back, we are always more than grateful to accept donations.
I think we're running out of time, but I'd love to ask you one more question.
Sure.
What do you wish more people understood about hospice care before they needed it?
Absolutely. I want people to understand, in the first segment, we talked about, hospice care doesn't mean that your life is over. It's about prioritizing comfort over cure. And so, sometimes people would rather not undergo curative treatments or procedures or surgeries. And so then it becomes about, quality over quantity. But even with quantity, there's still, lots of individuals who are on hospice for years. And so I don't want people to be so afraid of the word hospice, because it doesn't mean, oh, that's it, you have 24 hours to live. It could be a long life after hospice.
Madison, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much. And the executive director of Morning Light, thank you so much for sharing.
MorningLightInc.com to learn more about
.org.
Morning Light.
Yes.
Excuse me. We just talked about. We just told
Sorry.
me. And to learn more about the Abbie Hunt Bryce Home too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for what you all are doing. You're angels. You're earth angels.
Thank you.
Truly.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here every week to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit joycehouse.org to connect with us, hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support resources in the community, and much, much more. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing right after the break.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming back for our final segment here of Caregiver Crossing. Terry Stacy, along with Noah Taylor. But this is a conversation we're going to talk about is about caregivers, right?
Yes,
and the
it
definition of a caregiver.
Absolutely. So this kind of came about because I was sharing a stat with my family. I was talking about how there's 800,000 unpaid family caregivers just in the state of Indiana alone. And
800,000 unpaid caregivers.
And growing exponentially. As we have more adults living in poverty, as we have more adults with life-altering diagnosis, that number will continue to rise, unpaid family caregivers. And I was telling my family this stat, and my sister asked me, she said, "Does that mean am I a caregiver? Am I in that number?" And well, I guess I'll preface by saying that she takes care of my older brother, who has tuberous sclerosis. And she was asking me, am I part of that 800,000? And I said, yeah, I think you would be. But another problem is people don't even know they're caregivers.
Especially we've had this conversation for many years, especially when I started this caregiver, not started, but when I started with this particular show. It wasn't started by me, but that question, because the more Tina would talk, I would think, well, now, wait a minute, that's just you're a husband. or you're a wife, you're a sibling. That's what comes with being a part of a family. That's what that's your
Right.
vow.
That's what people think. Yeah.
But that has changed.
It's changed a lot. I mean, caregiving entails so much more than just being in a relationship with your loved one. I mean, transporting them, maybe changing a diaper. I mean, there's so many things that go into this, and not everyone who is a caregiver thinks of themselves as one. The truth is, caregiving doesn't always look like full-time medical support. It can be driving someone to appointments, checking in every day, or even helping manage medications,
That's right.
helping manage finances. Caregiving can entail a lot of things. If you're doing things to support somebody else's health or safety, you are probably a caregiver, and that identity matters so much to us here.
If you don't see yourself as a caregiver, then you might not need or ask for the support that you need.
Right, it's so
because
important.
you think, well, I'm not a caregiver, so I shouldn't be asking for somebody to help me.
I don't need this help.
with-
Somebody else
Yeah.
needs it a little bit more than I do.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not entirely the case.
It's I know all sounds very confusing sometimes. It really does. Especially as a family member. You just think this is what you are supposed to be doing. It just kind of veers off a little bit, and that definition of caregiver really has changed. That's all. We just kind of want you to know that. So it's okay if you're a wife and you're caring for your husband that you say, well, listen, I might need a little help.
It's totally okay. And recognizing that role and recognizing you need that is the first step to getting what you need emotionally, practically, and sometimes even financially. You can get benefits when you label yourself as a caregiver, and it is a very powerful reminder when you label yourself this, that you're doing something hard.
Yeah, you're doing something very hard,
yeah.
and really, you're not educated to know how to do it.
Mhm.
We're all just doing it. We're just doing the best we can with our gut feeling, with what we need to know, needs to be done, and doing it and showing up.
Because it's a person you love.
That's it.
And you'll do whatever you can.
That's right. Here's some questions, right? You've got some questions for us to help you understand how you are also a caregiver.
So number one we've got here, do you regularly help a loved one with meals, hygiene, or run errands for them?
You're a caregiver.
You're a caregiver. I think in my sister's case, she helped with meals. My brother lives in a community home, but she still helps with meals and finances and outings all the time. So she is absolutely a caregiver.
Yeah.
The next question we have here,
To ask yourself,
do you coordinate or attend doctor's appointments for someone else?
do you? Then you're a caregiver.
Yes. Have you changed your schedule, job, or lifestyle to care for a friend or family member?
Have you? Then you're a caregiver.
We've seen this one a lot lately. We've talked to a lot of guests recently who've had to change career paths.
That's right.
Even our own loved ones have maybe had to change roles because of they're taking care of somebody.
Yeah.
And then the last question we have here to ask yourself: do you feel responsible for another person's safety or well-being?
Do you? Then you might be a caregiver.
So I think these are all really important questions to ask
They really
yourself to identify as a caregiver, because there's a spectrum of what caregivers do for their
Yeah.
loved ones, and it's sometimes all encompassing and sometimes not so much. But I think what matters is that you're there for that person and you deserve help too.
Showing up.
Right? You don't.
It's really showing up. And even that can be a neighbor. You know, you could be a neighbor, and maybe the only thing that neighbor asks you to do is to come over and make sure that she has her pills in the right little pill box. Maybe that's all she needs. Or maybe she needs help with her trash can being taken out. And those are things that you're actually kind of helping someone and being responsible for some of those things. Does that count?
I think that totally counts.
Then you become a caregiver.
It's so important to recognize too that it doesn't have to be like your wife or
Right.
your brother.
What'd you say, 800,000?
800,000
In
unpaid.
Indiana.
In Indiana alone. And we're
Yeah.
not, I mean, Indianapolis is the 15th largest city in the United States. So that, well, 800,000 is an underestimation because people don't even know that they're caregivers.
It's a good point.
And that's just Indiana alone.
Yeah.
There are millions of unpaid caregivers here in the United States, and we think it's important to recognize you. So thank you for doing all the hard work that you're doing.
Everybody, just take a moment.
Yeah.
Nice round of applause and let them know that you're here for them.
You don't need a job title to be a caregiver. You just have to be there for your loved ones.
Yep. And then you be there for them.
Yes.
Okay. Then you help them. If they need some help as a caregiver, you be there for them. This all sounds so simple, but it's not happening. It's not happening everywhere. So anyway, we need more. We need to help more. All right. What have we got? About another minute? So what about a minute or so?
I think so. I think we probably need to say goodbye, Terry.
Oh, well, then we're going to say goodbye. Tina, we'll see you next time. She'll be back.
All right. As we close the show, we just want to remind our listeners that they can contact us for more info and resources to help you through this journey of caregiving at 317-254-0828. And a little mention to our wonderful sponsor. Caregiver Crossing is supported by Cardon & Associates, with 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Until next time, take good care of each other.
That's a wrap.